Okay, so now that we have checked that the pumping works properly and goes through the internal detector and then to the waste, we're going to charge one of our samples to the system. For that purpose, we have to press the direct key. We go to this. It's like a previous running setup in which we have to say all that we wanted to do. I put manual, but I don't understand how it works. So I'm going to say that it should go to vial number 1. Number 1 to 1, I couldn't change that. Number of injections, 1. And the volume, it says we can go from 200 to 2 milliliters, 200 microliters, 2 milliliters. Okay, return. I'm going to put 200, enter. All the detection, I want from this blue one. Sparge, nothing. Okay, and once you have everything in here, not the flow thing, you have to then go to setup. If you don't go to setup, injection is not going to happen. So if you want this to inject, the first thing that we have to do is to set up in here all the injection properties and then go to setup. If we put in here flow, any number, the system is going to pump, but the sample is not going to be injected. So if we want the sample to be injected, we should go to the setup. As you have checked, if I press in here, this screen stays more or less the same, but this all changed. So now I cannot change these properties. These ones I can, but the system now is ready to start run, and that means to inject the sample. After the injection, we can change the flow, so the system will pump. Okay, so in the previous screen we have put this and also this, but we can change this in here. Then I press the setup bottom, I guess, the one that it was here. And if I want this sample to be injected, now I have to say start run. Sorry, I pressed twice. Yeah, no. Okay, I abort the session. Okay, this was the previous setup. Okay, and now let's go start run. As I press twice, I press abort. Inject weight. And now we can go here. I don't know if you can see it, but it will appear the needle. There it goes. Enters into my vial number 1. Okay, the system now stays, and now this is gonna take, this is the injector is gonna take the volume that we wanted. So this is gonna increase, it's gonna get bigger, 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 and once it reaches our volume, maybe I have to perform this twice because the volume in here is pretty low. It will inject, and if it has to do it twice, it will perform this again. So now it reached like the limit. Well, I don't know. Let's wait a little bit. And now it will inject the sample. And this will be going up. More noises. It changed, and now you see how it goes up. Okay, now it's injecting the sample. Maybe you have to do it twice, I don't know. Let's wait. I choose 200 microliters of sample. That should be the minimal. as it says on the display, but I don't know, maybe I couldn't put less sample. It maybe depends of this injection, and it will take more. As you can see, it stays again going down. You can check that the needle, I don't know if you can see it, but the needle stays inside of the vial. Now it drops out. It came out. We don't want to get more sample, and now this has to decrease to inject the sample into the system. I guess that, okay, you see that? And now it says, in here it appears in the screen, an injection occurred. Okay? It says running, the running times increases, but as I didn't put any kind of flow, the system stays there. Just has performed an injection. Maybe there's a loop inside in which our sample stays until I put in here the flow. So now I can change this. As I told you, I can now change these options, but not the injections. I cannot go to the injection section. If I want to go, I have to say abort, and it's like aborting all the running, going back and do all the things again. But now that I have the sample injected, I just have to put in here the number, and well, first the bottles and then the number. So I prefer this, let's say enter, and now it's gonna run. And now the sample that is injected somewhere inside the machine will be flowing through the detector that is taking here the numbers, and then go to the waste. So if everything is working, sorry, it's not working because I put in here injection, and no, it should be running, sorry. But now that it's running, you see? My sample should be somewhere there. I guess that in here, if this is not running, the system cannot make this flow. That's all. But the injection occurs for sure because the volume of the vial decreased. So watch out about this. It should be put in the run option, and that's all. Well, if I have selected before the running time, that I could do that in the previous screen. Now it should stop when I selected. I think I put like 4 minutes and a half, maybe, but I think I'm not going to wait until then. So trust me, I think that it should stop. If it shouldn't, I put some kind of comments. So now if I want to stop the process, well, let's stop it just to see what's going on. Just clicking here abort. Okay, abort. Well, nothing happened. The flow is still, it was for 50. The flow is still there. This is flowing, so additional, I should put and stop flowing here. I don't know why this is increasing so much. I have an upper limit. If this goes through 1,000, it bumps a warning and it stops everything, okay? But maybe I have to put a bigger one. Because I have checked, and somewhere it appears that the tubes can have a pressure of 4,000, okay? I put this limit of 1,000 because of this detector, but I am not using it. But I thought that this detector will have the same characteristics as the inner one. So I put that limit, and I think it's great because this is a very high flow. In fact, 1 milliliter per minute, as you can see, if you check all the droplets. So that's it. You will have the sample injected into the machine, and now with the drop. Well, the bad thing is I didn't have the chromatograph, anywhere in here, which is pretty bad, but I guess that this number is updating every time, every second, or I don't know what's the frequency of this. For sure it's not enough, but we'll check how can we solve to have the peaks. Okay, and that's all for today.